Sorry for running a few minutes late, but want to welcome all of those that are here. We've got our committee members I'm going to acknowledge in just a minute. But I want to thank the public for attending, and I see some folks that have presented to us at our previous meetings. We certainly appreciate all that you have done by way of presenters. You've been very well prepared. You have dialed in on the issues that this committee needed to hear about and really given us a lot of good information for us to think about. So thank you for that. Let me do as I usually do. Let me allow our committee members to introduce themselves before we get started. Mr. Majority Leader.
Good morning. I'm Steve Gooch, District 51, and I'm the Majority Leader, at least till noon today. So it's good to be with everybody.
Good morning, Senator. I'm Larry Walker. I'm Senator for District 20, which is 8 counties in Middle Georgia, and I chair the Insurance and Labor Committee currently. A subject.
Mr. Chairman. Well, Mr. Chairman said I'm Frank Ginn, and I'm your senator, whoever you are, said but those folks in the 47th district decide how long I do it. And as of this week, they decided I could do it at least 2 more years. So thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. And thanks to the committee members. I'm John Kennedy, and I serve as the chair of this committee, and I'm honored to do so, and am very grateful to the members of the committee that have poured a lot of time, not just in for the meetings that we have had, but also a lot of time and work in the off season, so to speak. But I have the privilege of representing the 18th district in 6 counties in Middle Georgia, including parts of Bibb and Houston and all of Monroe, Peach, Crawford, and Upson. So with that, I want to move on. And before I do that, let me acknowledge Senator Halpern. I think you are with us by Zoom. You're waving, so I'll take that as that you can hear us. Thank you, Senator. We appreciate your participation and help and input in this. So just let us know if you have anything you want to add at some point. Wave. I think I see you're muted, so I'll assume you're not talking to us. All right, very good. And then lastly, Senator Russ Goodman, who could not be with us. Senator Goodman is, I think we all know, his district was one of the worst hit, quite frankly, in Georgia with Hurricane Helene. And he is down there continuing to do the daily work that y'all know Senator Goodman does of giving good constituent services and trying to help the folks in Georgia, in particular South Georgia, where he is. So I want to let y'all know that's why he is not here. But also we have worked with him, and Senator Goodman has worked with our office, and we have his thoughts and input into the committee recommendations and the report that's before you. So that is all for Senator Goodman. Last thing before I forget, I want to thank Johnny Sabo, Director of the Georgia Forestry Commission. Where's Johnny? There you are, Johnny. Thank you for being here with us. I appreciate what your commission does, and know that y'all have been working over hours and doing a lot of difficult work in the last several weeks, and we appreciate that. And one of the things that you have done is you have produced this Hurricane Helene Timber Damage Assessment Report. And I know that we have, for each of these meetings, talked about and begun really with a reference after the hurricane to the effects of that. But I think that's entirely fitting and proper, given that this is the Senate Advancing Forest Innovation in Georgia Study Committee. And so, Mr. Sabo, thank you. I understand you have brought a number and extra copies of this report. So anyone that's here, feel free to get a copy. If you're watching at home and you'd like a copy, please contact my office and we'll be happy to mail a copy to you. Johnny, thank you for this. It's well done and very informative and lets us know where we are as a state regarding the impact of Hurricane Helene. So this summer, we had an incredible opportunity to host 3 study committee meetings focused on advancing forestry innovation. And each meeting had a distinct purpose by design, with expert speakers who have provided invaluable data and presentations and offering us insights into emerging markets for this incredibly vital sector for Georgia's economy. We've heard the concerns of shrinking markets. We've heard about supply chain struggles, and we have verified those concerns by listening to local foresters, big and small, as well as hearing from companies working to open new ways for our foresters to sell their products. In our last meeting, which was held at Delta's headquarters, we learned about the increasing demand for sustainable aviation fuel. Our presenters included some of Georgia's largest employers, many of whom have taken significant steps to make this emerging market a reality. Additionally, we heard from stakeholders at the Georgia Chamber of Commerce and the Georgia Department of Economic Development about what they're doing to recruit and retain businesses in our agribusiness sector. Today, we will focus on the final report and recommendations of this study committee. We are offering these recommendations based on what we've heard from the presenters that have come before us and in the discussion among the study committee's members. I intend to discuss them with us as a committee today, gather further feedback from the committee, and also hopefully shortly, hopefully maybe even today, take a vote on adopting the final report, subject to any additions or changes that this committee would want to make to the proposed report. A little bit about the report. Based on what we have heard this summer, we learned that our forests are effectively managed through a collaboration among the Georgia Forestry Commission, the Georgia Forestry Association, landowners, workers, private industries, stakeholders, including sawmills, manufacturers, and yes, developers. Yet Georgia's forestry industry is at a critical point to take action on the market surrounding the forestry sector. Market volatility and out-of-state closures within the supply chain have posed significant risk and continue to pose significant risk. These challenges result in higher prices for consumers and create uncertainty for the industry despite the abundance of the raw material here within our state. Exploring innovative uses for forestry materials offers a significant opportunity for Georgia's timber landowners and private sector partners to promote locally sourced products. Our study committee also highlighted the potential benefits of adapting and adopting emerging technologies in high-demand industries such as sustainable aviation fuel, of which we've talked a lot about, and mass timber construction materials, in which we had a presenter on at one of our meetings. Embracing these advancements not only diversifies the state's investments and industries, but also strengthens Georgia's economy and reinforces its position as the #1 place in which to do business. That being said, I'm offering the following recommendations, again, based on the presentations and discussions that we have had during these study committees. I want to briefly review them with you first, and there are 3 elements in the recommendations that are in the packet that you have. First is that the relevant state and local entities that promote Georgia in this area, this sector of economic growth and sustainable forestry management, work in collaboration to prioritize a marketing strategy that attracts sustainable aviation fuel and mass timber manufacturers. Second, we heard from several research institutes, including Georgia Tech's Rewood Institute, about the critical need to expand research development innovative forestry markets. We recommend that funding be allocated to a Georgia-based nonprofit or research facility affiliated with a post-secondary institution to support the research and development of innovative forestry markets. Public investments in these areas would signal the seriousness with which the state of Georgia and this General Assembly take with regard to building out an innovation in this sector and hopefully attract further private investment. And the third of 3, Georgia's pulp and paper industry is a mature and vital sector that supports thousands of jobs in Georgia families and also significantly supports our rural communities while supplying essential goods to our state, our nation, and quite frankly, across the world. The study committee recommends a formal study be conducted to determine actions necessary to ensure continued investment in and sustainability within this sector. Lastly, the study committee recommends that the Georgia Forestry Commission and the Georgia Forestry Association compile a list of current regulations that are burdensome on their industry and provide those to our members. With that, again, and my thanks to this committee, I'd like to open this up for discussion among the committee members that want to discuss these recommendations and any statements that I've made, and certainly invite any of the members to make any statements that they would like to make and talk about what we've learned over the last meetings. Chairman Walker.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Like you all, I've served on numerous study committees over the years. This one's been one of the most interesting and informative that I've served on, and I've really enjoyed it. I'm proud that Georgia is the #1 state for forestry. We have the most private timberland of any state in the nation. And it's a huge importance to our local communities and our state economy, particularly in my district. It's very, very important. All the presenters, as you already said, came well prepared and provided expert information that was very educational and informative for us. And I think these recommendations are spot on, and I fully support them. And I'm excited to see what the future holds if some of these or all of these hopefully are implemented. So great job, Chairman, and I fully support these. I don't have anything to add or change.
Thank you, Chairman Walker. I appreciate that very much. Anyone else?
I'm ready for a motion when you are, Mr. Chairman.
All right. Yep. We have a question from our majority leader.
First, thank you for your leadership on this, and thank you for the participants who have spent time and money getting to these meetings and providing good information. I'm just curious more than anything on recommendation number 2, dealing with appropriations. Do we have any idea what kind of monies we're going to be asking for in the budget, or is that too early to have a number?
That's a good question, Mr. Leader, and we really don't, because it is my hope that we will that this study committee and the meetings that we've had and the interaction we've had with the stakeholders will continue the discussions about what we need to do. And when we initially started trying to map out what the recommendations ought to look like, I had a desire to go more specific and more detailed, but really realized that this is such this industry, and the aspect of this industry that we have focused on is in its such beginning stages, that I think we've well served our purpose. But the specifics of what we need and recommendations on policy, and even maybe that appropriations question is maybe a little beyond what I'm comfortable making a particular recommendation for
Okay.
right now.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Any other questions? Chairman Ginn?
Ready when you are, sir.
All right.
I move that we accept the report as a draft and move on to accept the findings and the recommendations from the committee and complete our work.
Very good. We've got a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, second by the majority leader. Is there any discussion on the pending motion to approve the final report of the Senate Advancing Forest Innovation in Georgia Study Committee as presented this morning?
I just want to thank the staff and our chairman for their great work.
Well, thank you, Chairman. I appreciate that, and I'm gonna add my thanks to the staff in a minute as well. So we got a motion and a second. Yes, sir.
This might be out of order, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to make a comment. I do want to thank the governor for stepping up and appropriating some emergency funding for the cleanup and debris removal, and to help our foresters after the devastating damage of Hurricane Helene. And I hope that's a big step, and it's an important step, but I hope it's one of several things we can do when we get back in session to try to encourage reforestation where all this damage has been done, and support our ag and forestry economy. And I know you all share that same feeling, but I just wanted to thank the governor for his leadership on that.
Thank you, Chairman Walker. That is entirely in order, and thank you for doing that. And you're right, the governor really has stepped up, and I know that he and his office are, I think, completely open to ideas about what can be done within the constraints of what state government can do to help these folks that are not just have been hurt, but they are continuing to hurt. And there's a lot of folks that are still going through, and the days ahead are going to be long and difficult for a lot of people in this industry that were impacted by the storm. So thank you for that. All right, we've got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Any opposed? None. All right.
I saw Senator Halpern vote as well.
Oh, thank you, Senator Halpern. Great. Senator Halpern, any comments? All right, were you raising your hand to make a comment or just voting?
Yeah, I was I had raised my hand earlier to make a comment. I was raising my hand to vote. I just wanted to add my thanks to you for your leadership on this committee and for the work that we've done. I think there's no question that we have at least begun to really look at what we need to do as a state and as a government to support this industry that's so important to the state. So I just want to say thank you for that. I think these recommendations are wonderful. I'm excited about the notion of us doing further study. And I think the only other thing that I would add is, of course, this is, we think of forestry and I think of all of the forests that we have in our rural areas. And I think there's great stuff that's going to come out of this that will also impact our more urban areas as well, that are also part of that larger economy in the industry.
Thank you, Senator. And please forgive me for not recognizing you earlier. I didn't know you were. So thank you for that. All right. Very good. Then with that, I want to add my final thanks as we close out and get ready to adjourn. And that is, I want to thank the Senate Press Office. Thank y'all for what y'all do in making sure for all of our meetings we've been set up, we've been broadcast. I've received lots of great compliments from folks that have been able to watch remotely. That's been great. I want to thank the Senate Policy and Legislative Analysis Office. Thank you for the work that y'all continue to do to make sure that we are informed, because we get throw a lot of questions that are tangentially related to the core of this or whatever the study committee is, and y'all do a great job with that. And lastly, I want to thank my office, Charlie Barrett, Chief of Staff, James Beal, Oswald, and Kaylee. And Kaylee, there you are in the back, Kaylee Bell. Thank you very much. I appreciate all the help you've given us and the other committee members as we've done this work. And with that, without objection, we'll stand adjourned. Thank y'all.